Hello, what's up everyone? Gids here for another video, and today we are going to talk about teams that I've used for Spires of Ascension. So you can see Celestial is at floor 40. I've not continued Celestial for a while now, so I might probably be able to push for 50, probably even 60, I don't know. But yeah, I've only been working on the elemental teams, and today I'm going to show you which teams I've used. These are of course 100% free to play friendly teams that I have been using. Okay, so we have up to only 35, floor 35. Reason why it's only up to floor 35 is because when you go to your quest area exploration, you'll have your trial of fire, water, wind, light, and darkness over here, that if you reach floor 35, you'll be getting your some rewards down here. Okay, so that's the only reason why I've only pushed until floor 35 for all the elements, but that's okay. I might be able to push later on once I increase everything else's power, but right now I'm not really focused on building multiple units at a time. So okay, so right now just keep in mind that all these monsters are just at awake 5 and has runes that are just being borrowed, and as much as possible just borrow runes on all of your monsters, because it's really going to be very expensive to be building multiple units and have their own runes, right? Here's a quick tip for everyone. So if you go to your guild and request office and you find this request that requires you to find the chest, it's actually really hard to find chests in the area and it takes so much time. So here's the easy tip for everyone. Just look for a teleportation device. So move over there, teleport, and try to look for jars. This time there is no jars in this area, so let's look on the other areas. How about this? Okay, so if you see jars like this, just break them, right? As you can see here, request of open treasure chest has increased by 1, increased to 2, and increased to 3. So this way you don't actually have to look for any chests in the area. So yeah, so much easier to finish up the quest this way, and then you can just switch channels and then you'll be able to get 3 again, another 3, right? And then I need 1 more, so I'll just teleport to the other spot over here and hope that we have chests in this area as well. Well, not really chests, but jars. Looks like we don't. So we're just going to have to wait for the reset, right? Since we can't find anything. Oh, there it is. There is jars here. So there you go. It's already complete. Turn it in and we're good. So that's usually what I'm doing with any request that I see that requires me to get or to open chest. It's only a problem when you try to get a rune or equipment or whatever from the chest, because these kinds of quests you really just have to get them from the treasure chests themselves, because the jars don't really drop you any runes. They only drop you blue keys and gold. Okay, so this one you can do it on this one as well, but yeah, if you're trying to look for a rune, then it's not going to work. Okay, so that's for your tip for today. So let's start with the fire monsters or fire team. Okay, I think fire team is going to be the first one that everyone would be building. So for me, this is my list of fire monsters, and you can already see which monsters I've built. I did not use Sekhmet, okay? But if you have Sekhmet user, right? So this is going to be your team basically. Chloe, Bulldozer, Sekhmet, or Karambit. I used Karambit personally. I will not be using Sekhmet for now. I'm just using her right now, or I just awakened her just because I can. And I made her level 17 just because I can. And if you can see her runes, it's not even really a set, right? There is no set here. Okay, so I did not use her. Alright. Anyways, for you can look at my team like this, right? So you can see we have all of the teams will have almost a similar kind of composition. So you're going to have a healer support, you're going to have a tank, and you're going to have a DPS. Okay, DPS is Karambit, tank is Bulldozer, and support and healer is Chloe, right? Bulldozer can double as a DPS. He can actually do a decent amount of damage with defense crit damage defense. Okay, so those are his runes right now. So that's defense, crit damage, and defense. So his stats, you can see his stats over here. So it's not much, right? I just recommend you guys to get them all to around 50k power, because at around level floor 35, I think the power that you need is to be around 250k. So if you're at around 250k for the whole team, you should be good. You should not be facing a lot of difficulties. But of course, at around floors 30 to 35, there are some times that you will have to manual. Okay, I autoed almost all of the way, but if the team is losing, I'll of course be manualing, selecting the right targets or selecting to kill supports first before anything else. Okay, so that's my bulldozer runes. Let's look at Chloe runes. This is actually not the runes that I'm using for Chloe, because the runes that I use for Chloe are the runes of Theon right here. So going to be defense, HP, and HP. Okay, and of course HP substats. HP defense substats. Okay, HP defense substats. So those are the things that you will be looking for. Right, and then for Karambit, just Karambit is a different type of damage dealer. He's something that is using attack speed. So if you have runes from your Naomi, well, I don't really recommend using or borrowing runes on your Naomi, because she will not have a high crit rate. But anyway, this is my Karambit runes. So attack speed, crit damage, and attack with attack speed, crit damage, crit rate, substats. Okay, this one could work. I mean, could use some work. I mean, all my Swift runes could use some work, because these are blue grade runes, right? So anyways, that's my DPS. Okay, looking at the water team over here. So oh man, I remember my mistake here. Okay, so when you guys are building your water team, don't restore your Economia. I regret restoring my Economia. You can see here I'm starting to try to rebuild him again, but don't restore your Economia. Economia is super useful here. Economia is super useful here. I had Tractor built up. He's a decent tank, and he can also use the runes on Bulldozer. Right now he has some random runes here just for exploration, but yeah, you can just go to preset and have the def-based runes here from Bulldozer. So I just take this one for everyone. Okay, so yeah, so that's what the runes he is going to be using. Just use the Bulldozer runes. Okay, so the team basically that I used for my water team was Tractor, Rigel, and I was using Lapis before, but I restored her again. Man, I've been doing a lot of restorations, but hey, it's a good learning process for me, so that I'll do all the mistakes and report back to you guys. But yeah, I did the restoration on Lapis and poured all my resources into Bastet. Okay, so this is going to be my new team, but previously I've been using Rigel, Bulldozer, and Lapis. Okay, so as you can see, there is no secondary healer in that team, which is why if you are not specifically running Kina, you might run into problems. That's why I recommend you do not rebuild or restore your Konamiya. So Konamiya would be better here. So your team could now look like Konamiya, Bastet, and Rigel. If you don't have Rigel, use the Water Amazon. Water Amazon is actually decent, and again, you can just borrow runes. So actually, in my DPS runes, I think it is Rigel that has the runes that are being passed around, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check my presets over here. Okay, so this is my... Oh, no one's using it right now. Okay, I have it here, and I have a secondary DPS tab over here. Is it the same? No. It's a different set of DPS. Okay, so anyways, just borrow runes, man. You don't have to be rebuilding runes over and over again. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so ideally you have Bastet, a tank, and a DPS. Okay, so Bastet is your support. You have Konamiya as your healer and your tank as well, and have a DPS on either Rigel or Ellen. Okay, Rigel, the Water Lich, is also usable for rune farming, guard runes, and fatal runes. So it's quite okay to build him. Okay, so yeah, that's my water team. Again, I regret restoring Konamiya. I was wasting my restoration stones, but yeah, you don't. So now you don't have to. Haha. But I'm so sorry for those guys that have already restored theirs because of me. Anyways, next up we have the Wind team. So this is my win team. Ramahan, I did not use this guy. I'm using this guy for directly dungeon. But anyways, the team is this guy, Pixie, Shannon, Mav, and Naomi. Okay, I think everyone will be able to build this except for the tank. So you guys can be flexible with the tank. I like using Mav because he is very, very tanky. Ooh, you're missing a lot 6 rune. But anyways, I'm also just going to borrow runes from Theon if I'm going to use him. Okay, skills are very, very useful as well. If you look at the skill info, he has his own heal. He heals for himself and also skill acceleration. So it's almost the same skill as Konamiya and Theon that decreases skill cooldown of your monsters. Alright. Okay, and of course you have your Naomi. Everyone should already have their own Naomi. Know how to build her. Attack crit damage attack as high crit damage as you can. The only problem when using this team is that you don't have enough debuffs that you can land AoE, but you have Shannon that can land 2 debuffs, attack down and defense down, and then Naomi can apply bleed. That's why if you have around 55% crit rate, that's still 100%. Right? So that's the team. So it's Shannon, Mav, and Naomi. Okay. If you have any other tanks, you can replace. Of course, you can replace Mav. I think Mav is the only replaceable unit because everyone will already have their Shannons and everyone will already have their Naomis. Okay. Next team, light team. Okay. So for the light team, it's going to be hard for some people to be building a new tank here because it really depends on what units you get. For my case, I was able to get silver. The reason why I chose silver is again with the skills. So def-based damage on his skills. So basically, he can just inherit bulldozer runes and we should be good, right? So he deals damage based on defense and he is also pretty tanky. He puts up a defense down on the enemies as well, and of course deals damage based on his defense again. So I really like silver here as your frontline tank. But since we have Theon, we have a secondary tank that also heals, which is very, very useful too. Okay, and after that one, we have our DPS, Lynn. Right, so everyone should also be able to build Lynn. She's just from the Monster Story quest. And again, everything is just Awake 5, except of course for the monsters that I've been using for everything, right? Like this guy, Theon. Everyone else, not really. My Bastet is actually almost Awake 13. I can Awake 14 her as well if I just get enough Breath of Life. That's why I want to summon, but I'm waiting for next banners and new monsters. But yeah, I don't know if I can hold on. Anyways, yeah, everything is on Awake 5, okay? You don't have to commit awakening levels right now because it's going to be very, very expensive on Breath of Life and Essence of Magics, okay? So yeah, everyone is at Awake 5, except of course these ones, right? The main units that I've been using, and Shannon as well. Okay, so where's my Karambit? Karambit is Awake 11 too. Okay, so yeah, going to my last team. So Dark team is actually where I had the most struggle with because it's really hard to build a balanced team around this one. So of course everyone will have Helia at this point. I had Shumar. Shumar is now Awake 5. So to be honest, again, I made a mistake of preemptively restoring him and then realized that I actually needed him. So guys, I don't recommend using restorations. I don't recommend doing it. It's just so bad. Because a lot of the monsters that you build, you might be using them for another content later on. Oh, by the way, for Fire Team, you can use the Fire Lizard Man, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, let's go back to the Dark Team. Okay, Dark Team, I went ahead and built my Shumar, Helia. We have our Helia as the support. Okay, Helia is the debuffer, and then we have Shumar as the DPS, and then this guy, the Cameron, as a tank. Reason why I chose him, it's the same thing as Silver and Tractor. They use the same runes as Bulldozer. Okay, so def-based damage, and he has pretty okay stats. I mean, they're all 3 stars, you know, so they could work. And again, he's Awakened 5. This Golem could work as a tank as well. Dark Golem is actually okay too, right? So this one is damage based on defense as well, but I did not have him at the time that I was trying to complete floor 35. I would have chosen this guy over this guy, but yeah, I could have used this guy as well. Dark Grim Reaper is also a good support DPS, semi DPS. He applies poison and stuns as well. So yeah, those are my dark monsters. So if you guys have really good 4-star monsters that are light and dark, then probably you should be using them. I actually have the dark mammoth over here, but I'm not going to use him because not everyone will have access to these kinds of monsters. Okay, so later on I'll be trying to build them all up to probably Awake 10, get better rune quality, and improve my summoners gear just so we can have the bonus for everything and probably push for floor 40, 45, and then 50 in the end. Okay, so that's basically it for my team. I don't know if I failed to show any runes. Anyways, basically any runes that are for supports, I use Theon's runes. Any runes that are defense based or for the tanks, I used Bulldozer's runes. Okay, so basically it's going to be almost similar stats to this one. The stats are not even the best for Bulldozer right now, but yeah, it was able to work. I mean, it's pretty easy to move through floor 35 as long as you'll really auto on some of the important floors. Okay, so that's it for me. If this helps you, press the like button. It really helps out a lot. Subscribe if you have not yet, and share down the comments below what monsters you have been using for your own teams and what floors are you on already. Okay, I'm going to try to climb Trial of Ascension hard by next week because I've been stuck on floor 145, I think, and I'm going to try to manual the rest of the way while powering up my whole team. But anyways, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you again next time. Bye bye.